First off, I want to thank Drew, Eric, and everyone else who made this banquet come to fruition. It's amazing to finally be able to all get together to celebrate the best year we've had yet as a program. I've been with the program since my freshman year, so for 3 years now, and it's been such a wonderful experience. Before I came to UTD, I had no idea collegiate sports was even a thing until my sister told me about the UTD sports program. I came to learn that there was an Overwatch team, however at the time I learned this, I had been still playing mainly on Xbox and a little bit on PC, and the UTD Overwatch team only accepted PC players. I eventually decided to focus on PC only and competed in tournaments and graduated ranked. Towards the end of my senior year of high school, I believe it was April 2019, I attended the first Overwatch League homestand and found a booth for UTD Sports. I found out that there was a summer camp and decided to attend one so I could play with the varsity squad. I assumed that there was going to be like some sort of in-house practice or scrims of some sort. However, this wasn't true. I think I was the only person who signed up who wasn't a little kid. All the people there were about like 10 years old. So I just felt myself. To be completely honest, I was a little disappointed because I spent a good amount of money to attend the camp, but I wasn't able to play with the varsity squad. However, I do believe that had I not attended the camp, I would not be where I'm standing today. Towards the end of summer 2019, tryouts finally came and I was super excited to showcase my skills. I didn't know anyone and I didn't really know what to expect, so I went into tryouts a bit blind. After trials concluded, I felt super confident and felt like I outperformed every main tank I used to be. No offense, scared. Results would later be posted and I was heartbroken to not see my name on neither the A team or B team roster. I had attended the camp where I met Greg, Garrett, don't know Greg, he's the previous director, and other UTD esports beats. Made the full swap to PC, accepted my offer to UT Dallas partially to be a part of esports, just to not even make one of the teams. I remember when I found out it was during the middle of a scrim with my former team called Eights, and I had my team pause the scrim because I was in disbelief and really upset that I didn't make the team. Later the night, however, I was given a second chance. Greg had reached out to me and gave me the opportunity to be the first ever sub for the UT Overwatch teams. Greg has always seen the best in people, and I believe he saw how dedicated and passionate I was by attending the camp and being as involved as possibly as I could be, even though I wasn't even in the program at the time. To this day, I'm super grateful Greg gave me this amazing opportunity, and of course everything he has done for me and all you guys in sports. One of my favorite memories with Greg was back in spring 2021 during Overwatch Collegiate Championship playoffs. We were in the round of 16 and we played against, at the time, one of the top and more favorite teams going into playoffs, Ohio State University. Competition was fully online that year, so we were stuck at home and it was hard. However, my team and I at the time, Brett, Noah, Fawaz, Daniel, Kyler, and Caleb, did the best we could to stay motivated to prove ourselves as one of the top collegiate Overwatch teams. That game was hard. Something I want to highlight about UTD Overwatch, however, is that for some reason, no matter how bad we were getting rolled, which has been plenty of times, or anything bad, all the teams I've played with at UTD have always remained level-headed and maintained strong mentals. And that's not something you see in competitive Overwatch that often. We were able to do just this in our match against Ohio State. We were down 0-2, and I remember all of us were just like, don't worry about those maps, just focus on the next. We talked to each other and made the adjustment needed to win. I remember my man and partner in crime, Daniel, really showed up that match by shutting down the damn Cassidy player who kept on flanking and essentially carrying the team. Props to my boy Daniel for that.
Woo!
Anyways, we were able to reverse sweep them 3-2 and secure top 8 in the nation for the first time. During the last map, I had made a game-winning play that honestly shouldn't have happened. Maybe some of you remember that. Essentially what happened was the map was 99, and I killed 3 on Ryan against Car and Icon.
Woo!
If you don't know what that means, it means their team was full of feeders who hard third. In all seriousness though, that was just ridiculous, and I remember after the game, and everyone in our district call was going crazy and cheering, and I think even Ernie cried. Sorry, I've been talking so much that I haven't even gotten to my favorite memory with Greg. My favorite memory with Greg was after this match. After the match, Greg was super hyped with the rest of us and said, wait a second, Luey, on that first point, excuse my language, for the love of fucking God, you're insane, holy shit. Oh my God. That moment truly felt like a proud father-son moment, something that I sort of lacked throughout my life. So it was something special to me that I'll never forget. Throughout my time here, I've played with so many different players from different backgrounds and places, and I've learned so much from them. I met a lot of amazing people, and I can go on and on about my experiences with them. But I want to take some time to talk about my team this year. My team this year has been by far the best team I've ever played with. I'm not going to lie, there's been several times where I've experienced imposter syndrome and felt like I wasn't deserving to play alongside such talented individuals. But I'm so grateful I had the opportunity to play on a team going out to my family. Garrett Jukebox, the most handsome collegiate Overwatch player, is one of my favorite teammates I've had in all things I've done, whether it be band, basketball, anything I've done in my life. I played on several teams with Garrett, and he always was the one who held the team together with his silly jokes and his uplifting attitude, not to mention his insane leadership and shot calling skills. I don't think I would have had such an amazing and fun Overwatch career without this dude. He's become like an older brother to me. He's truly the nicest guy I've ever met. I'm grateful to be able to call him a friend. I love you, Garrett. Thank you for everything you've done for me, especially on the car ride home. As for our next tank player who rounds off the most talented and handsome tank line in the Overwatch, Daniel Tinstar has become a dear friend of mine. Back in 2020, I want to say Daniel moved up from B team to A team to fill a gap we were missing. Daniel had big shoes to fill, and I believe he did just that. Daniel has always been such a great teammate who's never failed to be there when needed. Although I wasn't able to play with him all too much this semester, he has always been there to support my team, and would even go to lengths, even right now, for example, to drive like 30 to 45 minutes to campus just to hang with us. Daniel, even if we haven't been able to play with each other much recently, you'll always be my partner in crime, and I'm proud to be able to call you my friend. Thank you for always being there, Daniel. Abraham Peddle. If it isn't already obvious to you or everyone else in this room, you are in fact the most skilled player I've ever played with in my life. It's been a treat playing alongside you, someone as talented and experienced as you. Although, yeah, sometimes you didn't know what the heck was going on, both in and out of the game, you were there for your team, even with everything you had on your plate. Something I really admire about you is your ability to remain humble, even though you were so much better than us and rightfully deserve Overwatch League. Thank you for giving our team a chance and being a great teammate. I fully believe that one day you'll get into Overwatch League, and I'll always be here to support you, buddy. I'm proud of you. Keep it up the ground. Gosh. Sometimes you can say some out-of-pocket stuff. But I admire your ability to crack jokes and keep things light even at the worst of times. I also envy your ability to be able to literally stay on top of your work so much that you get it done in the morning and then have the rest of the day to do whatever you want. I'm proud of you for always staying on top of everything in school, for the team, and of course working out. Thank you for being an awesome teammate. Shout out to you for possibly being the most talkative DPS player I've ever played with.
True.
Brett Arrow is our third DPS player. Although I wanted to say a few things about him. Brett is an insanely hard worker, especially when it comes to school. Yeah, he may procrastinate a little bit, but don't we all? Him and I have the same major, so we've had the same classes, and he literally is that person who sits in the front of class and always asks questions. I admire his ability to not care to be judged for asking questions and then to not be afraid of being the most talkative person in class. Brett is such a smart and hardworking guy. Although he rode the bench this year, he often carried me in class like no joke. Brett was always there to answer any questions I had and to help me with any schoolwork I needed with. Had it not been for him, I think I would have failed my database fundamentals class last semester, and I wouldn't have been able to play with on our team. Thank you, Brett, for not only being a great teammate who was always there when asked, but also being a great teacher for me. Arthon, our Chief RT, who's not here today, unfortunately, he is quite literally the best flight support I've ever played with. When I first started talking to him on Discord, I didn't know what to expect. I asked around about him because I wanted to know more about who he was and if any experiences he had, but I only really learned like one team he played on 2 years ago. He came into this year swinging, literally in the room grinding to the game 24/7. Him, along with the other freshmen, Kosh and Abraham, grinded the game 24/7 beginning of the year, and it motivated me so much to get better and grind, more than I had been in a long time. I truly believe that if it wasn't for school and other factors in his life, he'd be able to easily make contenders and possibly go pro if he put his mind and the work for it. He's a raw talent, and his skills shouldn't go underestimated. I really hope he continues competitive gaming in some capacity. Best collegiate flex support on God. Thank you for giving me motivation to be better as a player and helping me be a more understanding person. Bella Sova is someone who should be highlighted in UTB esports. Bella, before I joined, I remember talking to Kareen and us both being super excited for you to our team. We had heard such great things about you, and I was super excited to have more representation on our team. You should be so proud to be a woman in competitive gaming, and especially being the first woman on the UTB varsity Overwatch squad. And I'm honored to have had the opportunity to play alongside you. I know this must have been hard at first, especially because you had to fill big shoes, but I don't think you give yourself enough credit. You had minimal to no team experience, and you joined one of the top collegiate Overwatch teams. You were there with us when we achieved top placing in several tournaments, most notably top 8 in the nation. You were there when we took down top teams like Northwood. You were there with us playing in the most competitive collegiate Overwatch season to date. Our success could not have been achieved without you. Stay confident in yourself and your abilities, and I promise you, you're going to do such great things in the future. Thank you for becoming a part of our team when we needed you the most. I'm not, for Fawaz, our last player on our team. First thing I want to say about Fawaz is that he's the definition of a clown. He most definitely is the person who's been the biggest troll on my team. I've enjoyed his humor a lot, and he cracks me up all the time. Fawaz, over these past 2 years, I've gotten to know you and play with you. You've really come out of your shell. I'm glad I've been able to really get to know who you are as a person. You are and have been the rock for our team this whole year. You always stepped up when we needed you to. You're a flex god who played whatever he needed to. And here's a little fun fact about Fawaz for those who don't know him. He's played the most roles for UTD Overwatch than anyone else has, whether it be main tank, off tank, I think DPS sometimes. Fawaz is an insanely talented player, a smart guy, and a really goofy friend. Fawaz, thank you for being a leader for the team and for always being there. And also for those who don't know, Fawaz will be graduating this semester with a bachelor's in CS. Can I get a round of applause for my boy?
Shout out!
Congrats and rip bozo. And finally, for our coaches and staff, I promise I'm almost done and I'll shut up soon. Andrew Deflex, thank you for literally always being there for almost the whole time you coached us. You were always at every scrim, always recorded our scrim. We're there at every game, probably the most reliable coach I've ever worked with. You worked hard to improve your game knowledge by studying pro play, and everything else you did for Overwatch. And I cannot thank you enough for that. Although you were the DPS coach, it was super nice and helpful to have you around. Thank you for all your hard work. AJ Little, he's not here today, but I wanted to say a few things about him. I didn't really get to work with him all too much this year, but I do appreciate him coming in and helping our support players when asked. It's also really nice to have him around at our hangouts or whatever we do. His ability to always troll people is pretty funny. But in all seriousness, I admire his ability to not care what anyone thinks and to not be afraid to voice his opinion. Shout out to AJ. Chris Benny. I was excited but also nervous when I first heard you were coming to UCD. You were the Benny, former Houston Outlaws player and Team Canada World Cup support. I was afraid that you'd have some sort of ego with us and expectations we couldn't reach, but it was quite the opposite. You always treated all of us as equals and always provided guidance through your experience and game knowledge. I'm truly honored to be able to call you not only my coach but my friend. It's been so damn cool getting to know who you are truly as a person. As silly as it may sound, meeting you has helped me realize that famous people can be just like the rest of us normal people. And I think it's something worth noting. Thank you for giving UTD a shot and being our coach. And lastly, Noreen Minipone. I can go on and on. I'm sure most of you know who Noreen is, and I'll keep it short and simple to say who you are. Noreen, you're like a little sister. You're like a little sister to me. You truly are a diamond in the rough. You might possibly be one of the most unique persons I've ever met. I've never met someone who's as positive as you are, someone who laughs at literally everything. It's someone who can manage to work in 2 jobs, having to maintain a social life, surviving school, along with other things that just as I did over the past year. It's hard for people like us, and I'm proud of us, both for always fighting for what we want and what's right. You're such a strong and amazing person, and I cannot tell you enough how honored and grateful I am to you as our team manager, but more importantly, my best friend. Thank you for everything you do. I don't think I could have gotten my time here easily without you. I love you, Dusty.
I love you too.
I want to take a second to thank all our amazing staff, volunteers, athletes, etc., everyone here, for all the hard work you do for the program. It's been amazing seeing the growth over the past few years, and I'm excited to see where things go. Quick shout out to my Latino brothers, Adon, Henry, and Andrew, for being the most voted video of other team including esports. So I get a round of applause for them. I also want to thank my family and all my close friends for always being super supportive these past few years. I couldn't do so much without them. And the final thing I want to say is, if y'all aren't aware, the Overwatch 2 beta is out right now, and there's now only one tank in the game. And although I'm excited about the Overwatch 2 beta, I'm really sad because I won't be able to play along my team anymore. Darren and Daniel. And it's hard to imagine myself without them. At the moment, I'm not sure where I stand in Overwatch. Maybe I'll continue to play for my senior year of next year, or maybe it's time to throw in the towel. I played for UT Overwatch for 3 years, and it's meant the absolute world to me. I wouldn't have traded it for anything else. It's been one hell of a ride. Thank you.